Welcome to another episode of Ghana Ground Up. My name is Desmond Kafui, and it's an honor to have you here today. If you've rented or bought a property before, you must have had some experience with a property agent. And normally, the word agent brings up divergent views and opinions. But then today, we'll demystify the whole misconception about property agents. And whether you're new to real estate or a seasoned buyer, you also get to learn a lot about agents and how they make the property search easier and faster and a whole lot smarter for you. So then, let's get into it. First things first, who is an agent? A property agent is basically a professional, and the key word here is professional. So then, this professional helps you to find, to rent, buy, or even sell real estate. And he or she may act as a middleman between you and then the seller or the buyer. So basically, they help you to streamline the process of acquiring property. And very often in Ghana, a good agent can be your eyes and ears in the market, especially if you're busy or you're not sure about where to start from. But before we move up, let's settle a potential confusion that a lot of people may have. Even those in the real estate space have this confusion sometimes. So then, let's settle it. What is the difference between a property agent and a property broker? They're two different things, though similar, but then let's find out what the difference is. Now, a property agent typically works directly with buyers and sellers to help them to navigate the whole real estate process. And they normally focus on showing properties. They also help with negotiating the prices of properties. And they also assist with all the paperwork and other related matters when it comes to acquiring property. On the side, a broker is a step above an agent. And a broker normally has additional training, more qualifications, and also licenses to operate. And normally brokers can work independently, and they can also have their own brokerage firms, and they end up hiring property agents to work under them. In a sense, all brokers can act as agents, but then not all agents can act as brokers. So then a broker runs a brokerage which employs agents. So agent works in an agency or a brokerage which is run by a broker. I hope it makes sense. Often in Ghana, most people refer to agents as the go-to professionals when they're dealing with real estate transactions. But then when you understand the distinction between a broker and an agent, it helps you to recognize the level of expertise you need for your transaction. Now that it's all clear, let's get back to the topic of the day, agents. So why should you work with a property agent? Let's break it down. One of the main factors that makes agents very, very instrumental in any property transaction is their knowledge of the property market. Now, agents understand the local market very, very well. They understand the trends, the property values, the demand for certain types of properties. They understand the locations that are doing well. And most importantly, they understand the property prices that are prevailing in the market. Now, this means that they can help you find a property that fits your budget and your lifestyle without wasting your time. But then very often you have people who don't know much about the prices of properties in the market, so they may end up compensating for this by asking around. But then what normally happens is that they end up being served with very faulty information, and most of this information is probably rooted in speculations and then just guesswork. So if you want to get it right, you need to get in touch with a property agent. And basically, a correct property agent will help you get the best value for your money. A good agent often has a decent database of property options that may appeal to you as a home seeker. Now, agents normally have properties, or they normally know about properties that may not even be advertised on the market yet, because they normally get first-hand information from developers and homeowners. So then you may probably end up walking past a house that is for sale, but then you may not know it's for sale because there's no sign at the gate indicating that the house is on the market. And if you think that you can work the property market all by yourself, well, good luck. But really, just save yourself all the sweat and get in touch with a good property agent. They'll show you more property options than you are likely to find all by yourself. Another key reason why you need to work with an agent is that they can negotiate a property transaction on your behalf. And they are well vested in this, so they can do a better job than you're likely to do. Not everyone enjoys going back and forth with prices. And some people feel like if they negotiate themselves, they may not get a good discount because the developer may end up profiling them and assume that they can pay the full asking price. But then agents are pros at negotiating, so then just give them the room to negotiate on your behalf to get you the best deal. Beyond the negotiation table, session for a property can take weeks or even months. And on the flip side, a property search can take a very short time if that agent already has the property in his database that match your search criteria. But generally, it can take a while to find a good deal. So the agents will help you to narrow down your search and present you with the best options based on your needs. On this matter of time savings, in as much as the agent is saving you time by doing the work for you, you also need to save the agent time by being a bit specific. Now, this is what I mean. Imagine you approach an agent and your request goes like this. I'm looking for a nice three-bedroom house in a good area in Accra. And that's it. You don't indicate the budget, you don't specify the exact locations you're considering, you don't specify any details about the type of house you're looking for. And you ask the agent to send you all three-bedroom house options that he or she has for sale. No, it can't work like that. It really doesn't work like that. Now, there will be way too many unqualified options and so much variance in the prices. Look at it this way. A three-bedroom house in East Legon Hills will set you back, let's say, between 150 to $200,000. But then that same property will cost even more in East Legon. Let's say you may be looking at least 250,000 to 350,000 dollars for a three-bedroom house in East Legon. So help the agent by being a bit more specific with your requests so that the agent can have time to focus on what really works for you and you don't end up seeing property options that are not relevant to your search criteria, maybe things that you don't even like in the first place. So then let's help the agent by being a bit more specific. In addition to the many reasons why you need to work with a property agent, we all know and we all understand that every real estate transaction involves a lot of paperwork. So then a reliable agent can be a second eye for you through the paperwork process. So it helps you to avoid common pitfalls like unclear property titles or contracts that are not in your favor. The agent in this case is not taking the place of a lawyer. You need a lawyer, but then the agent is just there as an experienced person who knows the processes required when you're acquiring property. So the agent will end up serving your interest by making sure that all the terms that you're signing up to are in your favor and that there are no hidden clauses that will spring a surprise on you sometime later. They're basically there to check and ensure that all I's are dotted and all T's are crossed. Now, even though I've hinted at this already, one more reason why you need to work with a property agent is that they know things. By that, I mean they know the places with good roads, with good infrastructure. They know the neighborhoods with good schools, good security, and they also know of new investment opportunities that you are not likely to be aware of. Now, not all agents are created equally. I can't stress this enough. Now, you find a good agent and you have a happy ending, or you find a bad agent and it can get really, really messy. So let me give you some quick tips on choosing the right agent. Number one, reputation matters. Ask for recommendations and check for reviews online concerning the agent you want to engage. Now, a good agent will have happy clients who will vouch for them, but then just like you look for reviews when you're buying a product, you can also check what others are saying about this agent you want to work with. And often, a quick online search can help you find some information about the agent you want to engage. Another thing is experience. Now, there's nothing quite as painful as working with someone who doesn't know what he or she is doing, as in they are almost clueless about the market they're serving and the products that they are selling. So look for agents who are experienced in the locations you're interested in, and look for agents who have experience in the transactions regarding the type of property you're looking for. Now, be it an investment property, be it a commercial property, or just a place to make your home, you need to find someone who knows exactly what they're doing. Similar to experience, a good agent knows and understands the property market. A great agent will have answers and insights to guide you to make informed decisions. So, knowledge is really important, and you need to make sure you find an agent who is very knowledgeable in what they're doing and in the industry that they're operating in. If your agent isn't being transparent with you, you should be very concerned. And this is where the issue of transparency comes in. If the agent can't respond to the pressing questions you have, that is a red flag. And the agent should be able to come clear about his fees, the commissions, and also his role in the transaction that is currently ongoing. Now, if he's been secretive about the dealings or he's trying to push you to close the deal very quickly, that should also be a warning flag to you, because at the end of the day, he may be hiding something, and this thing may end up not being in your favor and may hurt you along the line. It may be that the deal is fraudulent or the agent is fraudulent, and it could also be that maybe the property under consideration has an issue that the agent is not disclosing, and this may hurt you sometime later. So then a good agent is clear about what you can expect and also keeps you at the center of the deal. When it comes to professionalism, I don't think there's a substitute. I don't see how a substandard service will ever be good enough in a space where nothing can be left to chance. A good agent will listen to you to understand what your request is, what you're really looking for, and they will respond promptly. And also, they will be genuinely interested in helping you. But then, if you run into an issue with your agent and you believe that he or she is a good person and something isn't adding up, bring it up for discussion. I mean, issues come up from time to time, but then managing expectations really, really helps. So it really is important that the agent is very, very professional in how they transact business with you, how they relate with you, and how they go about things. It really, really cannot be overstated. Many people don't like working with property agents, and very often the primary reason for this is because of the agent's commission. And many people hate this issue of paying commissions to the agent because mainly they are concerned about the amount of money the agents may end up making. I don't see why this should be a problem, but then let me not go ahead of myself. Let's look at some common misconceptions people have about property agents. Myth number one, a lot of people think that agents are too expensive. Now, the truth is this. Generally, property agents normally earn a commission only after a deal is closed. And if you know, buying a property isn't like going to a shop and picking things off the shelf and going to the cashier to pay for it. It takes time to start a process, and also it takes time to complete the process. And even that, you're not really done until you've taken full possession of the property after you've made full payment. And the agent's commission is a huge motivation for them to help you throughout the process to make sure that everything goes smoothly, because in the end, it's a win for the client and it's also a win for the agent. And generally, an agent's commission is pegged around 5%. That's 5% of the final sale price or the purchase price of the property. So you may say it's too much. Like, I mean, why 5%? It's way too much. But then look at it this way. Marketing and actually selling a property isn't a walk in the park. It's a really tough thing to do. It takes time, and the agent normally has to front up a lot of his or her personal investments to make sure the property is seen, from renting billboard spaces to running adverts to conducting viewings, open house, helping with paperwork, consulting, advising, and actually guiding you through every step of the process. That's a lot. And we know that for consultants, the pay isn't often loose change. The pay is often worth the service that is rendered. So then, don't think you can do it all by yourself and that an agent doesn't deserve his commission. And don't be some way and try to avoid paying the commission. Some people try to take the agent out of the deal once they get introduced to the property owner. But you see, every laborer is worthy of his wage. So do what's needful and have in mind to treat your agent very, very fairly, just like you would love to be treated. And back to the amount of money an agent may make, for all you know, an agent may end up closing one deal after so many months, and what he makes has to sustain him and his company and everybody else who works under him till the next deal comes along. And I think it's fair price for an agent to receive a 5% commission. So let's do what is right and make sure that an agent is fairly compensated. Another myth is that agents only care about the seller or the developer. Now, the truth is this. A good agent will act in the best interest of his client, whether that is the one who is buying or the one who is selling. Now, this means that even though the agent may act as a middleman, his priority is to ensure that the buyer gets a good service and also the seller or developer gets a good service. And this is only possible when the agent is transparent and honest. Believe it or not, if I am pushing you to buy something from someone when I know very well that the quality of that product is poor, I'm doing you a lot of harm. And I know that sooner or later that will come back to me. It's more like karma. So I'd rather show you something that is a good product that will serve you well, knowing very, very well that when you're happy, I'll be happy too. So then agents are not really out there to just serve one party. They are there to serve both the buyer and the seller and to make sure that everybody meets in the middle ground and everybody ends up walking away happy. Another myth is that agents are only in it for the money or the commission. Now, while this may be true for a lot of agents, the reality is that the work of an agent is really, really, really hard. So hard that a majority of new agents quit less than 5 years into starting their practice. Now, the amount of work it takes to find a property, to find a client, and to close a deal can wear you out really, really quickly. But then, while some are in it for the money, the real good agents are in it to serve you and help you have a place of your own. Whether you're buying or whether you're renting or whether you're just a property owner looking for clients to take off the properties you have on the market. Another myth is that you can find properties by yourself. Well, while you can actually find properties by yourself, that is likely to be like buying the first car you see without considering that there might be other cars that you can buy, which may end up being more budget friendly and which may end up even being more suitable for you. So then an agent will end up saving you time and help you avoid all the fishy deals and scams because they know the market and it's their playground. So they're familiar with what is going on and they can save you a lot of headaches. Working with an agent often means that you also get access to more deals and actually better deals. So then, can you find properties on your own? Well, absolutely, yes, you can. But then that would just be like scratching the surface. There's a real reason why agents exist, and kindly make room for them to help you find a fantastic property deal. To wrap things up, working with a property agent can save you time, money, and stress. The right agent brings market knowledge, negotiation skills, and professional support to the table, all while helping you to find a property deal that meets your needs. Remember, choose an agent with a solid reputation, be clear about your expectations and your budget, and trust the process, but also stay actively involved and ask questions for clarity on whatever you are dealing with, whatever transaction is on the table. That's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed this discussion or have any questions, let us know your comments. Don't forget to subscribe to Ghana Ground Up on YouTube and also to follow us on all social media platforms for more insightful content on the real estate sector in Ghana. I'm Desmond Kafui and it's been an honor having you today. Happy property hunting, and remember, a good agent is worth their weight in gold. Catch you on the next episode of Ghana Ground Up. Peace.